got special work to do here, you and me. You've got the body. I've got the brain.
Welcome to a special edition of the Nightmare Hour. I am your host, the Nightmare Man. Alongside with me is the ghoulish but gorgeous Princess Diva of the Dead. Say hello, my dear.
Hello, your dear. I mean,
No, not your dear. My own
dear.
your dear.
Your dear, my dear,
like you
everybody's
can't have one of your own or my ties. You gotta have one of your ties. And I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But anyways. We got a special treat in store for you on this special edition.
Lots of specials.
Isn't that special?
I know, we have special on chicken.
Special on chicken. Anyways, before we get too out of hand and have the guys in the padded party wagon pick us up, we had the wonderful blessing to have a nice little powwow with a friend of ours. You know him from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Jesse's Revenge. We had the good fortune to speak with our friend Mark Patton.
Well, I did let you speak once in a while.
Yes, you did, yeah.
But I ate too many M&Ms. I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah, Diva took the reins on this one, but yeah, we had a great time talking to him, so we thought we would just go ahead and whip up a special show for all of our Nightmare Hour fans and just give you a special treat. And remember, he will be attending at Atlanta in Days of the Dead. And
Indianapolis.
Yeah, and don't forget Indianapolis, as he's going to be doing what to you?
He's going to walk me down the aisle.
He's going to hand you over.
Jesse is going to give me to Freddy.
That's right. You won't want to miss that kid. So, yeah, you will want to keep track of your horror convention info.
Yeah, he says he's got something special in store for our wedding. I just wonder what it is.
Who knows? You're just going to have to wait and find out. But in the meantime, enjoy. This is an hour show.
That's right.
1 hour show. We're not going to stick any howdies and we're not going to do any reviews. We're just going to go straight to the powwow. Powwow.
Now I feel like we're Indians.
Hey, how are you? Hi, how are you?
Good, right.
Let it snow. Let it snow. It's like Ethel Merman. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow, baby. That's my Ethel Merman. Did you like that one?
You're a bit goofy.
I know it is.
I like my cousin it better.
But all he does is stands there with his hair over his face and chirps.
Yeah. He doesn't chirp.
I don't know what he does.
I can do his voice just great.
But anyways, enjoy this show, and remember, kids, that this Friday we're going to be talking with Andrew Alexander, Michael Myers in the Monsters Among Us room.
Awesome, Michael Myers.
The Shape will be with us, so tune into that show this Friday. But sit back right now, kids, and enjoy Mark Patton.
Yeah.
Tonight on the Nightmare Hour, we are pleased to have with us a gentleman who we have the honor of calling friend.
Yes.
He has battled the infamous Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. And tonight we're going to reminisce a little bit about that and also talk about his Jesse's Lost Journal on Facebook, which is a big hit with all the fans out there.
Well, this one.
Especially Diva.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I read it every day.
The Nightmare Hour is pleased to welcome Mr. Mark Patton. How you doing, Mark?
Well, I'm doing fantastic, guys. Nice to talk to you, Nightmare Man. Hey, Diva, how are you?
I am fantabulous.
Oh, brother, you got... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I said it's going to be an exciting year.
Yes, it is. And I cannot wait till July because not only does Mark Patton get to walk me down the aisle, which is a huge, huge honor, but if you look at the irony of it, Jesse is giving me to Freddy.
Yeah, I Mark, I didn't realize it like that,
Doesn't get better than that.
No, it don't.
No, it doesn't.
No,
That's total irony right there.
Well, that's where Days of the Dead falls in, and you are going to be once again at Days of the Dead for the second one. Am I right?
I am. I'm going to be at Days of the Dead in Atlanta, and then I'm going to be at Days of the Dead in Indiana also. Yes, I'm really looking forward to it.
The only thing that could make our wedding even more perfect than it's already set up is if Mr. Robert England would show up. That would blow my mind.
Oh yeah, that would.
You know, Robert has a way of appearing out of the blue, so you never know. It might happen. It might happen.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, we've got some dates set this year for Nightmare on Elm Street 2 reunion. So so who knows? I mean, they're talking all the time. So by the time it rolls around, we may actually be sitting there together and having some fun, and then he can be the preacher.
Oh, there you go. Robert England as a preacher, that would be great.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, don't you think?
That would be fun. That would be total fun.
My son, he would say to you. That would be fantastic.
Well,
but
you know,
it's going to be really cool no matter what.
Oh,
you know,
yeah, it is.
Your wedding is going to be a blast there.
I had a company that I had kind of like an altar made. It has it's made out of cardboard, and on each side there's a pink podium, and it's got a picture of where he proposed to me, but I had cropped our picture of the proposal into the front of the Nightmare on Elm Street house. And so that picture is on each side of the podium, and it says Nightmare and Diva, and across the top it says A Zombie on Elm Street.
A Zombie on Elm Street. Well, that's perfect. Well, I know I've already got my plans for your wedding gifts, and I think you'll really like them, I hope. But I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be fun, and I was real honored when you asked me to do that, Diva, because it's very sweet of you.
It's a huge honor to have you do that for me. And the necklace that you gave me in Indianapolis is hanging in my living room, and I tell everyone where it came from and the story that you told me that's behind it.
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, some of our kids are really, really talented down here. So
I love it.
Yeah, I love the fact that you have it. It was perfect for you. It was perfect for you.
Well, I tell you what, Mark, when Atlanta hits, when you get a break, you're going to have to come into the Monsters Among Us room and say howdy to all of us.
Oh, I definitely will.
Yeah.
I'm really planning on having a good time in Atlanta. I have, well, you guys know my Facebook guys, but like I have people coming from all over. I mean, Nadine is coming in from Germany. And Bill Nugent's coming, of course, and then Barnaby may actually end up coming from London. So we got a whole table full of like really cool people, and we're just I'm gonna have a little party, which of course you guys are invited to if you have a few minutes.
Well, of course.
In my suite, we're just gonna have a little party and then take everybody out to dinner, and it's gonna be really fun because these are. It'll all be friends who, like, over the last couple of years, we've really gotten to know each other, and it's just great. And, the conventions have become something totally different to me now that I've been on the circuit for a little while. And, I have really, wonderful friends and people that I only, get to see that once a year. But it's, it really is, well, you guys know you do it. It's like, so I'm really looking forward to Atlanta, and I love Atlanta, and I think the show there is going to
Never been there.
Oh, you're going to be amazed. It's a great town, and the people really show up, and they've got a lot of personality. So I'm expecting it's going to be really one of the best shows of the year.
I think so too. Not to mention, it's right there in Zombie Central for The Walking Dead.
That's right. So
and that's my show.
Zombies that drive you nuts all night long.
Yeah, they will.
We're actually gonna arrive on Thursday afternoon, and we're staying until Monday morning, early afternoon. So we'll be there a day early and staying a day late. So we'll not only beat the traffic, but it's a 10-hour drive for us.
Right.
And so we'll get a little bit of rest time in between getting there, and then party all weekend, rest up for a night, and then drive home.
I think that's a smart way to do it. Exactly. That's what I do also when I come in. Is I come in a day early, and I like check out the town if I want to. Like, because living down here, I always want to go, see some big
sightseeing. Yes.
Yeah, some lights, or and buy some clothes and things like that. And then I like to take the day after too, because it's like the energy is pretty intense.
Yeah, you don't realize how much sleep you lose out on because you're not tired all weekend long. You're partying, you're having fun, you're doing this, you're doing that, and you don't realize it until Sunday. And then it's like when we go to Indianapolis, it's a 3-hour trip, and he says to me, "You want to drive home?" I'm like, "No, I'm exhausted. Do you want to drive home?" He's like, "No, I'm exhausted too." And that's just a 3-hour trip.
I know. I just hit the sack. I mean, that's it. I like turn on the TV and I sleep when I want to sleep and I wake up when I want to. But I just get rested before I go back. Especially when you're doing like a couple of conventions in a month, it can get really insane. I did last year. I don't think I'll ever do it again. But I did 5 conventions in 1 month.
Wow.
And, yeah, because I did 2 new shows because I was really trying to like sort of help out the new people. And so I fit in like Mile High Horror and Kalamazoo Film Fest, Kalamazoo Horror Fest, and that was really tough. I mean, it was a 5-weekend month, and I was like, I mean, a couple of times I flew back to Mexico, and then then I flew between places, and
didn't you get jet lag?
Oh God. Yes. Yeah, I got jet lag. A little bit of jet lag. No.
I bet.
Yeah, like each one was really cool because I met somebody that I hadn't, met before. Like I met James Howard in Kalamazoo, and now he's coming to Atlanta, and he's the one that built me that really crazy Jessie doll, the one that looks like a punk rocker.
Yeah.
Right.
And that kid is like just an incredible artist, and he's made me, and I painted a painting for him, and that kind of stuff makes the whole trip worthwhile. I mean, I was thrilled I got to meet him, and now he's coming to Atlanta, so once they start, it seems they don't stop. That's why it's good to support those little conventions if you can. You know what I mean? If they're real close to you. Because sometimes they're going to be disappointing. I mean, that's just the way it is. Anytime somebody does a first-time show, it's going to be what it is. They're going to have mistakes, and maybe nobody will show up. But
I know we're really excited for the Monsters Among Us thing, that we're going to actually be part of the show for the first time. I'm a little nervous and excited at the same time because I really want it to work out. But then there's this little tiny bit, what if,
Yeah, and that's but if you're originating something, that's what it costs to get in. On the other hand, I went to Gatlinburg this year, and that was the first time they had run a convention. And I know there's a lot of talk about Gatlinburg on the board, but it's like, as far as I am concerned, it was a great convention. Mm-hmm. And the third day was slow. But that was a Sunday, and a lot of times Sundays are slow at conventions. But we met a lot of people. It was really, really crowded. They had good stars they treated everybody like the people and the celebrities. They treated everybody like a star. I had like a chalet up in the mountains, and
nice.
Yeah, they were just as nice as they could be, and they did. What they did it. They made money, and they kept the room full twice, and for two days. So it can be done. It's a lot of work. Whenever I don't think people quite understand what it is to put on a show or start a new venue inside the show. Even that it takes a lot of muscle.
Oh yeah,
I bet it does.
And make it happen and like get everybody's attention.
Yeah,
because we're a rowdy group, and everybody's busy talking. Not a lot of people are busy listening.
Yeah. Well, Adolfo Dorte puts together. Well, he put together a great show with Days of the Dead, and we have talked to him many times, and he says that yes, it gets tiresome. He's like going in all sorts of directions with this and this and that, and I commend him for his efforts for putting together shows like this.
It was one hell of a show.
I don't think I could ever do the magic and the wheeling and dealing that these guys do with these things. But when it's all said and done, he puts on a great show, and he gets wonderful guests like Mark Patton here. And when the first Days of the Dead was a success, and I foresee many more to come.
Yeah, huge success.
Recently it was posted on Facebook. I don't know if it was on Adolfo's post or not. I don't remember who had said it, but someone had said that we people who like Days of the Dead as much as we do, we're pimping out Days of the Dead too much and not the other conventions, kind of like leaving the other conventions in the background. And that's not what we're doing. We're just, that's the next convention coming up, so that's what we're posting out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I think a lot of people have to understand, like on a bottom line kind of way, that the conventions are fun and they're a blast and we love them and they're like family oriented and all that kind of stuff, but they're businesses and they cost a lot of money. I mean, you don't just float into a hotel and say, give me your hotel, and start getting celebrities to fly in, because they don't fly in for free, most of them. I mean, it costs money. And you have to be, it's a business. You've got to get out. If you don't pimp it, nobody's going to be there.
Right.
And I think Aldolfo is a total genuine guy. I think he's a gentleman, and he does a lot of stand-up things and I go to a lot of different shows, and I've met a lot of different kinds of people at those shows. But like, I admire him so much. Like when Heather dropped out of Days of the Dead, it didn't take him 10 days to let you know she wasn't coming. It was
right.
Instant.
Yes.
Right.
If you're coming to see Heather, the whole reason you're coming is to see Heather. Then you don't buy that ticket. You know what I mean? And then you don't get disappointed. Whereas some promoters will let the name sit there for 2 months, and then by the time they get there, they announce a week before, oh, by the way, Heather's not going to be here.
Yeah, we know a convention that happened. They
but they didn't announce it until people started showing up at the convention that person wasn't going to be there.
There was really a lot of disappointed people because they knew.
And that was one of the main reasons they were coming.
Yeah,
to see this person.
They bought their tickets and they brought their things to sign, and then they get there and preparation.
Oh, by the way, so and so's not going to be here.
And, oh, by the way, as they're standing in line, it's like, oh my goodness,
that's unprofessional.
It is unprofessional, and that's why I admire him so much, because he's very upfront. He's straightforward. He tells you what he can do, what he can't do, and he really busts his ass to put together a good show. And
yes, he does.
It was a fantastic show.
Yeah, and he's got one coming at you. So and of course, I love the fact that they own the Scream Queen. So I'm totally right there with them.
Oh yeah, so, awesome.
Although he said I was I can't remember how he phrased it, but I was a given. I was a family member, I was a Scream Queen, and I just thought I love that, because I'm, you guys know, because you were there at that.
Oh yes.
Just how much fun that is.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Well, this year it's going to be really, really fun, because Heather's not going to be there, so we have 2 new Scream Queens who I can't tell you who they are yet.
Uh-oh.
We're gonna. I want them as a serious Scream Queen too. Let me tell you, serious.
Uh-oh.
And maybe you like her and maybe you don't. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she's gonna be a really fun one, because she's a little testy. So
a feisty one.
A
feisty one.
Feisty one, yeah. So it's like, so get your dog collars and all that. See what happens. Let's see who shows up on that stage. It's going to be fun. But I know Linnea is going to be there, and PJ is going to be there, and I'm going to be there, and then 2 other Scream Queens are going to be up there rocking the show. So it's going to be awesome. Good. And I'm still going to make fun of Heather, because you know what? It's really in my nature just to let her have it.
Cool.
She's a big star and she can take it.
Yeah.
So, and she's doing so well right now that
that's good.
I gotta knock her down a peg or 2.
There you go.
Who she's dealing with.
I'm the Scream Queen at our haunt. When we work there, I scream all the time out there.
You're the Scream Queen in my haunt. Actually, my go-to. I have that beautiful picture you gave me, and I use it as a screensaver sometimes. And I remember
I posted my scream to your wall.
You You did. We were having that Scream contest, and that didn't quite take off. So maybe we'll do that again. Over the next couple of weeks to get ready for Days of the Dead.
Yeah.
Because what I was doing was I was trying to do that Scream Like a Girl thing, and then we were going to do a video clip of all the people screaming for There Is No Jesse. And because we've finished I would say we finished about 2/3 of There Is No Jesse now. It's on film. And I thought that would be really cute with all the people screaming.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to do a little kickstart for that also, for There Is No Jesse. And the kickstart is only to pay for, because the movie's already paid for, is only to pay for the end credit. And we're going to either buy, we're going to try to buy those 2 videos that one Steven made for me. And I think that's called, well, the one is She Wants Revenge, tears me apart, and the other one is Mad World, and we're going to use that for the end credits, and it's going to be everybody who kicks into the Kickstart, and the Kickstart's like $5, so it's not like a lot. We're not looking for a lot of money.
Right.
Right.
We're gonna film that person, and they're the end credits, so it's going to be like however many. I hope maybe 1,000 people is what we're thinking. We'll probably do it at $5 a shot. It's not very much, and then the money goes to the Trevor Project. Is I'm a Jesse under those fantastic songs. I especially love Tears Her Apart. It just I think it fits Nightmare on Elm Street so well.
Yeah.
And a guy from Australia has done a couple of videos for us, and one for Nightmare on Elm Street 2 from from that one song, and it just looks amazing. So, and we've got some really great music in There Is No Jesse 2. I mean, we have the original soundtrack for Nightmare on Elm Street 2, but it's been remixed as house music, or it's in the process of being remixed as house music.
Yeah.
So, and then we got, Fonda will be there, we'll be dancing all night long, and do like a new version of that. So it's going to be really, really fun. But the thing that I'm most excited about is, well, there's 2 things that I'm really excited about that maybe we can talk about tonight. One is, I know, Diva, you joined me in Jesse's Lost Journal.
Yes, I was just getting ready to ask you, what made you decide to start doing this journal thing? And
well, the honest to God truth is, I get asked, and you guys know this because you're professionals also, and you get asked a lot of the same questions over and over again, and then there was the whole controversy about, was Nightmare on Elm Street, did they mean to make it gay like that, or did it just, was I so gay that it just gayed up the whole thing and made it the gayest thing ever? It was just voted the gayest horror film of all time by Out magazine.
It was?
Yes, this year in 2012 they put it on the cover. And then I was the number 3 scream queen in the world behind Jamie Lee, and I can't remember who was number 2, but I know it wasn't Heather. And then there was,
but I know it wasn't Heather.
That's preaching to my crowd. But anyway, so they did that, and so I wanted to answer a lot of those questions, and then I always talked about the Nightmare on Elm Street that I saw in my mind, because my dream always, and I think a lot of actors do this, is I always, of course, I have had many, many years to think about Nightmare on Elm Street and Jesse, and obviously Jesse is a real strong part of me, and he's been with me for almost 30 years.
Oh yeah.
So, and I thought about, well, what if this happened, and what if this happened, and why didn't and the main thing that really got me thinking was why 2 and 3, why 2 disappears. That's my number one thing.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I'm going to start writing this journal because I have an ending for Nightmare on Elm Street 2 that's different than the one that is that actually happens in the film.
Yeah.
And I think it makes really good sense. So I started writing the journal just as a blog, and then which was great. It was what Jesse was thinking, scene to scene.
Right,
So
and it took off.
it did take off, and then it's like, and then I went all the way through the film. You get up into episode 35. Now it's on staticmass.net. Also, you can get it from the beginning there on which is a fantastic film magazine out of London, and they're carrying it, and I think they're on like number 19 right now. But in the end, not to give anything away, it's like, to give it away, is Jesse kills Lisa, or Freddie kills Lisa, but it looks like Jesse kills her, and the premise was that so we got rid of the bus driving off into the distance, and I made the analogy inside of the journals that the difference between Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy comes into the real world in part 2.
Mm-hmm.
And in number 1, he's in the dream world. And so I made Nancy and I the yin and the yang. Like he's in the dark with her.
Right.
But I'm the only way he can get out, like a pass into the real world. And once in a while, to let off some steam, he likes to come out into the real world and kill people. So just random things, but Nancy and I were the ones together that were the answer to solving the problem.
Okay.
And that we needed to connect, but I end up in a mental institution and all kinds of things. And I wait for her, and I wait and I wait and I wait, but she never comes. And I'm guilty over killing Lisa, but we're now at the point where in the story I'm a famous artist in New York, and I've just met Mark Patton at the opening of Nightmare on Elm Street 2, which I went to see. So that's a little trippy.
Wow, that's cool.
And now Jesse's begun to have his doubts. Is Lisa really dead? Or has Fred been fucking with his mind all this time?
Yeah.
And so it's been really fun. It has taken off. It's really good, and I think we've got about 20 more entries to go, and then it's being published on Amazon. And that there'll be hard copies at the table, and you can buy them on Amazon.com. And it's filled with really cool art, Jesse art. Some of it's fan driven, some of it is drawings and paintings and pictures. And and honestly, it's a lot more sexual than the movie. Jesse actually does get laid. It takes a while, but he does. He loses his virginity finally. You find out he was a virgin through the whole thing. So he does lose his virginity. So it's a lot of fun, and I love it, and I've had a blast, and people have been real kind about it. So it's cool. It actually gave me the courage to I got an offer to do an autobiography through a company in London also.
That's nice.
Which I thought was fun, and it's like just, really emphasizing Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, really for the fans and how I came there and all that stuff. And I was really nervous, and I'm writing it with a ghostwriter, and which is good because I know the person really well, and that really helps a lot. And there's a lot of, backstories to be told, and you have to research everything, make sure it's, all the truth.
Yeah.
And you can prove it. So I'm really excited about that because then that comes next. And then, so I'll be an author. I just can't believe it. I'll be on.
Congratulations.
I have a question.
Thank God for spell check,
Yes.
I have a question, dear.
Sure.
Tell me, do you have any of Jesse's clothes still?
Oh, I have them all.
Oh, you do? That's cool.
Yeah, in my contract, the people that were like really nasty in the making of Nightmare on Elm Street were the writer, David, and then the set dresser, and he is actually a friend, and so I'm gonna leave his name off. You can look on the credits, and also the costume lady. They were like sort of a pack of like booze hounds, and she was so mean to me, And they came to me, you know, when I'm looking in the boiler room from the alley of the house, you know, when I look down in the basement window,
Yeah.
that spot took them about 15 hours to set up. And it was on a weekend, and it was at the house on Genesee. And they got all set up, and then they didn't have enough time to shoot it. And because I went into what was called quadruple penalty as an actor. I mean, it was the weekend, it was overtime, they hadn't fed me. There were a lot of things going on, and it was going to cost them about $48,000 to $50,000 for 10 minutes of my time.
Wow.
And Michael Murphy, who was one of the line producers, came to me and he said, you know, will you just shoot this, please, for free? You know, I mean, like, can you go off the clock and shoot it? Which is always, you know, that's the actor's prerogative. I can just say no. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So come back 3 weeks from now and spend another $500,000 and fix it. But I was like, yeah. And I said, but one thing, I'll do it for free if you'll let me have all of my costumes and my hand props.
Right.
And he's like, oh, that's no problem at all. And I wanted them because what happens is the prop master sells your stuff.
They do?
Yeah, they sell it when you're shooting the movie to get their kit money back.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it's like I had some cute blue sweaters, so everybody, you know, they were stylish then. So people were like, oh, I'll buy a sweater for $20, or I'll buy, you know, oh, I want this jacket for $15,
Right.
And well, all of a sudden it was in my contract. Everything that I touched belonged to me. So that lady had to go and she had to buy that stuff back from those people and get it all numbered for me. And I mean, I got every pair of underwear, every pair of socks,
Wow.
boxes, my bloody clothes. I got everything. And then they were kind enough to give me all the overtime in that movie, which was really nice too.
Well,
so anytime there was overtime to be had, then they would shoot me last and I would get paid a fortune. And so that was a good deal for me. So I got, at the end, they packed it all up and I got everything. I have every shirt, just everything. Now, some of it I had a whole bunch of Robert's peel-offs too, you know, his daily mask.
Oh, yeah.
And they offered me my body double that Mark Shostrom has. Mark Shostrom built. He offered that to me as a gift, which was really sweet. But those
That's
kind of
awesome.
things, they sort of disintegrate over time. Like my Freddy mask, you know, pretty much disintegrated. And I gave one to my nephew, and he took really, really good care of it. But after about 20 years, it's like, it's not.
Takes its toll, yeah.
Yeah.
They're sort of gone. But my bloody gray shirt, I have my shirt from the famous dance scene. I got the yellow shirt. I got a couple of those, and I had my swatch. I was offered $13,000 for my swatch, and I turned it down.
Oh man!
And so I've got a lot of that stuff, and I actually, people offer to buy it, and I tell them it's not for sale. I'm giving one piece away, and I'm actually giving one piece away to Mike Becker because I hate him. And because he's just a lousy person. He has nothing in his life but Nightmare on Elm Street. So I'll give him swag. So
Yeah.
you know, no, I'm gonna give him a little something for his traveling museum because he is a nice guy. And
Cool.
and the rest of it has been donated actually to the Smithsonian and the Gay and Lesbian Film Archives, and both of whom wanted the stuff. So that's what's going to be done with it in the end. Now, some of it my nieces and nephews are going to get, and it's all, you know, I mean, it's weird. A shirt's worth like $3,000 or something, and you know, a shoe's worth whatever it's worth. But for me, it was like the most valuable things I have the shooting scripts, and those I really love.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think I would turn loose of those. Maybe they'll bury that with me, and just in case I'm not dead when they. Yeah, no, I got it all. I have it all. I guess I could do my own little Jesse museum. Although in Las Vegas, this year they're building a haunted house that is the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 haunted house.
Oh.
And, so it's the house decked out for part 2 with all the gags in too. So I'm sure the birdie room is going to be really terrible,
Oh.
terrifying. And then I'm going to be there for 3 days and signing autographs. So when you come out after you've seen the transformation and the rats are crawling on you and stuff, you come and get an autograph from me. So that's going to be in Las Vegas in October. And then I'm going to go to Kansas City, which is my hometown, and I'm going to do Horror on the Boulevard, which is a thrill for me because that's my old hometown, and so all my family will get to come and see that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That is great.
Yeah,
My favorite part.
So the answer of that was the long answer to your question.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful answer. I love long answers. My favorite part of the movie is when he gets busted dancing in his room when he's supposed to be cleaning. I love that scene.
I love that. It's like it to me was the most humiliating scene in the entire movie.
I loved it.
And then it turned out it was, and I stopped saying that because you know what? So many people love that scene, and like guys especially really like that scene. I guess they relate to it because everybody relates to being like a dork when you're alone. Because I think I'm sure there's not one person in the world who hasn't used their hairbrush as a microphone or their pop gun as as a. When I in Jesse's Lost Journals I said. When I was writing about that, I said, well, at least they didn't come in when I was doing my naked swan leg, because that would have been. But Bill Nugent got me some pop guns, that that he found someplace. I don't know where he found them, but the pop off things, at the end, the money shot, and. So I have those, and I have some under the table, and occasionally I'll give somebody one, just if they're particularly into that scene, I'll say, oh wait, I've got something for you, and they, and I'll pop it at them, and they love that.
Oh,
so
that's funny.
Deandra actually this year is God love her, Nancy Thompson off Elm Street.
Yeah.
Right.
She's going to be sitting at my table in Indiana with me, and she's going to be playing Jessie. So
Well,
she's going to be playing Jessie?
Yeah, she's going to.
Wow.
She's going good, and she's doing the dance scene. Yeah, so
that's going to be
that's going to be fun.
I'm looking forward to seeing
glasses and everything. Yeah, so she's going to sit with me, and because I love her, I think
she's a sweetheart. We love her.
I think a lot of people do, and I think she's just a superstar.
She's just got that awesome personality. She's great.
For the convention, she's like, she's a bonus to anyone that she goes to, and she, of course, she's dedicated to Heather, and she loves Heather, and she spent all that time doing, this work with Heather and for Heather, and of course she identifies with Heather, but she. But we become really friends, and she's like, okay, I'm slapping on that little blonde wig, and I'm the dance scene. So everybody's ready to see her,
This is the first time hearing about it.
Yeah, well, she's going to be sitting there, right? Her and Bill Nugent will be sitting right beside me. Maybe we'll get Bill to do Nancy, so that'll really.
There you go.
Well, Bill is Nancy, and Deandra is Jessie, and me is me, and that'll be fun. But it was her idea, and I thought it was really cute, and I think that's going to be fun because we've got a lot of good T-shirts we're giving away at that convention that have to do with Jessie and Nancy. So it's going to be really fun. So it'll be fun for her. It's something different to do.
Yeah.
And so I know they're having a costume contest there, like the heroines of horror, and maybe I'm giving away things I'm not supposed to, but and I thought, well, maybe I'll go as I'm desperate for attention. Maybe I'll go.
There you go.
I'll go as Nancy. I'm Nancy now. So
Deandra, with all of us Monsters Among Us monsters, we put a lot of dedication, a lot of heart into what we do as a costume, and Deandra ranks right up there with what she does. And we talked to her on several occasions via the phone or the internet, and she is just now a busy little beaver when it comes to what she's doing, and I commend her for all of her efforts.
Oh yeah, she does not
I am
stop.
so proud
she
of her.
goes
what
and
she's doing.
goes.
Me too. You know what? She's a kid that we can actually all be proud of because she's going to school full time.
Right.
She's a really charming young woman. She really. I mean, you would have to be the cretin of the world for her to delete you off of.
Yeah.
And I just, I think she's a great example for a lot of people. And I think she's going to be with the convention scene for a really long time.
I think so too. She has a huge heart.
She is. And I keep really encouraging her to, do her thing because she knows so many people and she'd be a wonderful person to just, find a niche for herself that was just totally her own, like you guys have. And that's just hers, you know what I mean? And that way she can go to more conventions and as soon as she, graduates from college.
Right.
But I really admire her a lot. And she and Bill Nugent and Nadine Kirsten and Barnaby Marriott all helped me tremendously around the world. They really gathered my fans in because, I have a huge following in Europe and it's hard to manage a lot of this stuff. I mean, right now I'm making sure that everybody gets everything that they pay for, like if you buy an autograph or, because mostly our things are t-shirts and, the money goes to charity, but it becomes a huge job. I mean, it's,
right.
When you're dealing with 14, 15, 16,000 people in different countries, you're like, oh, wait a minute, did that t-shirt get there? And I'm a worry wart kind of person. I mean, if somebody gives me $25 for something, I want to make sure they, actually get it.
Yeah.
So, and Deandra and Bill have been, just like my backbone in that. And, that's just, really, really, really kind. I did want to say, that, it's because of that European connection. I know, I think you guys know, but, I just finished shooting a movie, the lead in a new movie. And I shot it in Berlin and in Bosnia. And the movie is called Night, and it's going to be at the Berlin Film Festival. And it's kind of, we're really not talking about it a whole lot. I'm the star of the movie. It's not a horror movie, but it is very suspenseful. It's very, 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 very dark.
Oh.
And right before I went off the film, I'll give you a clue. Right before I went off the film, I was with Camille Keaton from I Spit on Your Grave.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
And Camille and I became pretty good friends, and I got to pick her mind, which was really great because Night goes to some of those places that I Spit on Your Grave goes to. But, it's all filmed in Berlin and Bosnia. And there are only 7 actors in the entire movie. But by the end, I have no hair and 2 black eyes. So, but
wow.
I do kick some ass in this one. They'll forgive my language. They'll know that Jesse's not a pussy in this one. I seriously fucked some people up in this movie. So, and it's really German, and it's going to be I believe it premieres at the Berlin Film Festival. So that's, I mean, can you believe it? I mean, from Never Sleep Again, not acting for 25 years to go out on these conventions, and now I've written a book, I'm writing a series, and I just started a new movie. I just, it was like a whole new world for me.
It was kind of like what's going on with us. We got a whole new world going on. I mean, 3 years ago, we weren't going to conventions. We didn't have fans. I mean, but we love it. We so love it.
Yeah. I think when you love it, it's just like you put your heart into it, and then it's just like, they say, old timers say, it's like what you put out there, it comes back to you. And it's like, I think if you put out good vibes and good energy, and you're like, you really are playing your part, you go and you show up and you're giving the people a show, I think the opportunities come back to you. I really do, because I think, because it's showing that you're committed to what you're doing. you know, before you know it, you guys will be taking over network television. And
Oh, I hope so.
living in Hollywood, you won't talk to any of
You
that.
want to know something funny?
Oh, here we go.
You said network television. Have you ever heard of U2?
Yeah, you too.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
It's a program. It's a channel on our cable box, and on this they play Batman. They play the Green Lantern. They play stuff like the Green Hornet, whichever. But anyway, during these things, they have these little things, what they call a fame spot. You make a 15-second video that answers a question that they give you, and they air you on the TV during the program. And yours truly over here has been on TV for the past 2 days.
Yeah, they finally gotten around to they finally gotten around to posted them. I think I did the videos like a month ago, something like that. And what they do is they email you when the time for the broadcast to happen, so that way they say, well, you know, gather your family and friends and watch you on TV and all that, and they all came in a row, a barrage this week. And everybody was saying, "Hey, I seen you on TV," and I said, "Yeah."
It's exciting, isn't it?
It's fun. It's really fun. And what they got now is called.
I think actually the two of you would do like a great gig, like Elvira. I mean, I would definitely have you.
People have been telling us that we should do it like almost like the horror version of I Love Lucy. Because a lot of times we're so goofy together. He calls me Lucy all the time, and I call him Ricky. So, but his fame spot.
You should try filming a little of that and see what.
His fame spot question, the first one that he made was, "What do you miss about high school?" And this dipstick over here, his answer on video was, "What do I miss about high school? I miss mac and cheese day."
I loved mac and cheese day, Mark. They had such tremendous mac and cheese out of all the dishes that they served. I loved the macaroni and cheese that they
Yeah, but you could have said anything. You could have said you missed the pretty girls or anything like that, but you missed the macaroni and cheese day.
Oh,
really?
Mine was spaghetti mac, so.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, I was like a real Midwesterner. We got spaghetti and that combination spaghetti macaroni thing.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite. I loved it. Thursdays. Yeah, that's when you got it.
Yep.
So that's a good memory. There's nothing wrong with that memory. It's better than, looking up girls' skirts.
Oh, he probably did plenty of that.
No, I have a feeling he may have done that one or two times.
Okay. But they also have a new thing on there called People Commercials, and where you get the opportunity to broadcast a 30-second commercial, talking about anything under the sun, your business or something like that. So we're going to get on there and we're going to promote the Nightmare Hour and
my show
and Diva's show. And,
yeah, because I do have a video show. It's called A Deadly Dose of Diva, but I've only had 5 episodes, and then I decided that I didn't like how my set was. So for the past month, I've been revamping my set.
Yeah.
The last show that I had was like a Christmas show, I believe.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, that you got to do that. You got to like look at it and see what it looked like and see what works and all that kind of stuff.
And the lighting and the sound. There's all kinds of issues that goes along with it when you're doing a video show.
Mm-hmm. I'm doing a thing called, which I've been like sort of putting together for almost a year now, and it's called Stock Talk and like Stalker Talker. And what I do is I interview people at the conventions, and I'll have to interview the two of you this time at your wedding. I'll get you at your wedding.
Awesome.
He'll get you at your wedding, Freddie.
And it's it's just like a conversational show with and I just thought, well, you know what, I'm around all these people and I know them all. I might as well archive the conversations that we have, and they're not like interviews. They're really strange conversations. I mean, they're not Gary Busey strange.
Gary Busey strange.
Gary Busey.
You're getting Gary as strange as Gary then.
They're not as strange as Gary, and I enjoy Gary's conversations when I see them on the web and whatnot. But I mean, they're just me and like different people sitting down talking about really odd things. And
sounds like my type of conversation.
like you dropped in the middle of a restaurant, and you sat down, and you're next to, like, say, I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to PJ Souls, and I'm talking about, getting buried alive and that kind of stuff, and what it what it actually feels like, and do you think Sissy's crazy, and it's all done in really good fun, and it's almost like you've stocked up on these people, and you're listening to them, and we've archived about 30 celebrities so far, and then we're talking to a couple of different people about web TV and them, and just as little fun things to hit on, so that um, it's something extra to do. Like, I don't have enough things already.
Yeah.
But it's just fun. It's like, Deandra and I were talking, and I came up with the idea for Stock Talk, and I said, do you think it's too much? I mean, Stalker Talker, because people are afraid of stalkers. But I just thought, that's a great title, Stock Talk. We've got to do something with that title.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So, and then I have a big set that is, it's a big painting that says La Reina Soy Yo, the Queen I Am. And, so it's a little Joan Rivers, a little Freddy Krueger, a little, people get blood on their hands. I'm waiting for somebody to do a series at the convention. I wish they would. And I think it would make the greatest web series, following the shows. And
I tell you,
this sounds like a great idea.
Mark, I tell you what, I hate to interrupt you there for a second, but I was thinking the exact same thing a while back about that they should document the horror conventions, and the people that don't get attend the opportunity to attend these conventions can get the opportunity to watch.
Want to go. Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
But I think you could put a mystery in the middle of it where somebody ends up dead every week. You've got all these, you've got Freddy there, you got Jason, you got everybody that you need, and like who's the killer? It's like
kind of like Clue of the conventions.
Clue of the conventions.
Clue of the convention scene, and just like little 5-minute episodes, I think would be fantastic.
That would
be. Who did it? Where'd they do it? What'd they use?
Yeah. I was gonna kill Kim Myers. I had this thing about killing Kim, Lisa, and it was gonna be she was gonna be the killer. And every time, what made her kill was when people asked her, "Has anybody ever said you look like Meryl Streep?" And every time they said that, she would kill them and leave them in the room. So just fun things like that. But I think it's a great setup because you have all these actors.
Yeah.
And who are all hams anyway.
Yeah.
And,
right.
And all the people who are attending the convention who are all hams anyway.
Yeah.
And you just really have a blast. Like shooting the thing through the whole convention, and it would just bring the energy way up again.
Oh yes, it
would. Like, oh, here comes the camera. Who's going to get killed now?
Oh yeah,
so maybe we'll do that together. Maybe we'll figure out a way to do it. We'll be the ones.
Yeah, well, Adolfo's always coming up with ideas left and right, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised that one day you will see something like this promoted on the website. You never know.
I hope so. You know what? I'm gonna shoot him an email. That I actually think that would be a great promo for Days of the Dead.
It would, because one of the things that we do when we get home from the conventions is we go YouTube surfing for people's videos of the conventions.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody just. I mean, when you come back from the conventions, within a matter of hours, your Facebook is lit up, and people are already down or uploading videos to YouTube and everything like that. And then the next thing you know, you're tagged in this and tagged in that. So it's
we're gonna need a secretary after we get married.
We probably will be. We'll need somebody to take care of this.
Well, there's somebody waiting out there to help you. They'll just step in. They'll be in love with Nightmare Man and Diva and say, "Oh, can I please, just do something to help you?" And it's like, and then they become a part of the family. And
yeah,
I got something the other day, and from some guy, and he was saying something about emails, and I keep all my emails, and which is crazy, but I have 57,000 emails on my Facebook.
Unbelievable.
And that's like an archive of everybody who's ever said anything to me from, hey, how you doing, to can you please, do this for me? Or
well,
that
those
for
are
me.
memories.
Yeah.
They are fantastic memories. And
Keepsakes.
and when I meet people, and like, of course, I get all that information about like the YouTube and like, and of course, like you guys, I'm tagged in a lot of stuff. So, I've got some of my favorite pictures have come from people who shot me when I had no idea they were taking a picture of me.
Yeah.
And it's like, and those become the favorite ones because they're real spontaneous and you
I
look
like the ones when they get you with a funny look on your face.
Yeah,
Those are the fun ones.
I can live without those ones. It's like Robert. I don't know if you ever saw that post from Robert from Robert England, where he's like, you know what? I love your pictures, everybody, but like, please, don't shoot the bald spot. If I'm the star, get me a good angle. I know it's all about you, but at least give me half a chance here, because we all are not 30 years old anymore, So
You have to shoot your good side.
Yeah, but I get a lot of pictures where people say, like, the person that I'm, shooting with, they look fabulous, and I look like I just crept out of, bed after 40 years of sleep. I don't really look like that, do I? And then I'm like, from certain angles you do, so you better just say it. And then I pop up like after Never Sleep Again. Like Never Sleep Again came out, I only had 3 days to get to LA and shoot that. And I've been living down here in Mexico, and we had maybe had a margarita too many, and ate a couple of tacos, and I had gained like 15 pounds, but I had no idea.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden I was on film, and then I was like, oh, and there's a picture of me and Heather where the first time we saw each other, and I'm like, oh my God, who is that picture? And I've done my best to, like, I'll take a picture with an envelope. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as it can get on the web, so I can push those fat pictures back further and further, because now I go back normal size, and on film you look bigger. So I'm like, oh yeah, take my picture. That's okay. Put it on the web. Let's just push those fat pictures back as far
as you can,
as far as we possibly can.
But you say that you look goofy in some of your pictures, which those are the fun pictures anyway. But the great thing about it is your smile. You have an awesome smile.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, you know what? My smile is honestly, I think it is genuine. I mean, I really, I really love doing this. I promise you that I wouldn't show up at any of these if I wasn't really committed to doing them, because I first of all, I completely understand what $20 is, and I've not been well off my whole life, and I know what $20 is, and I know what $150 is, and I know what $1,000 is.
Right.
And I know that's what people pay to come to these things.
Right.
It costs you bank to get there.
Oh yeah, it does.
And I just, like, I refuse to do anything that rips people off. So if you're not going to show up and be, happy to be there, and happy, those are my dogs, happy, and they're, if you're not going to be there and happy to talk about your show, whatever that is, whether it's you have one movie or you have 10, if you're not there to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, that's what the people are there for. And smile and make them feel comfortable, because a lot of them are really nervous and really afraid. And if you're not, then don't take their money.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, you just say, you know what, I'm not in business today. Go over and give your money to somebody else, because I'm going to be a bitch. Like, so I go to the conventions because I love them and I love the people. And I do love resurrecting I like sort of, and I feel responsible for this too, on a certain level, of putting Nightmare on Elm Street 2 back in its, like, proper perspective in the series. It's like, it's not Nightmare 1 and 3, and like 2 didn't happen. 2 did happen, and if 2 didn't happen, 3 would have never happened.
Yeah.
If 2 didn't make the money that it made, you would have had no Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are a lot of people. I mean, not a lot, but there are a significant amount of people who, Nightmare on Elm Street 2 means a lot to them. They like it. They identify with it really strongly. And I like being there for those people, and like they're saying like, I always loved this movie and I love Jesse and it's like I really related to him. And, that's why I go, and I have fun. And so I smile for real because I'm having fun. I'm enjoying I'm
Oh yeah.
enjoying the gig.
Oh, we love it.
That's the main thing that you got to do. You got to have fun, and when the fans see you, at your best, it rubs off on them. I mean, nobody, we've heard horror stories from other
Sure.
people about their experiences with other movie stars, and you just don't want to run into people like that if they're going to be on a bad mood for a 3 day,
Oh, I know. I
fun,
went to I went to Germany with one guy, and he was nervous and he was new to the circuit. You know what I mean? But I mean, they had just flown him from Germany, and I mean from the United States to Germany, and we're in Germany, and and his agent's like, "Well, what are you going to do?" And I was like, "Well, we're late for the show. I'm going to the show." You know what I mean? It's like there are people waiting to see. It. He goes, "Well, I think we're going to go back to the room and rest, and then we'll go tomorrow." And I'm like, "You're out of your mind. These people just flew you from the United States to Germany, and which costs a lot of money.
Yeah,
Right.
They're only coming to the show for one day, and you're going to go and take a nap before you go and see them. It's like you go in the bathroom, throw some water in your face, and you go.
Yeah, you got to get your game face on.
grab a Starbucks and hit it.
Right, and then it turned out the guy was like all nervous, like people wouldn't really want his autograph. And he locked himself in the bathroom, and everybody was afraid to talk to him. And I just went over to the door and I was like, look, are you going or are you not? Like, put the diva in your back pocket. Is it going? Unlock the door and get your ass out here. And he was like, okay, and he did. And then he was fine once he got out there and he saw that people liked him and that they wanted his autograph. I mean, this guy's a big star. So, but through that convention, a lot of people were like, well, does he really want to be here? And it's like, I mean, it probably cost him 10 grand to get him there.
Oh,
what I mean?
yeah.
Because a plane ticket to Europe is a couple of $1,000 just to start with.
I believe it.
So I'm like that. It's like, if you don't want to do it, don't do it. And then the funny ones, I mean, there are ones that have gotten the reputations now of being such whack jobs that really almost sort of part of the fun. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not making fun. I am. I'm going to go ahead and make fun of Gary because, I love it when I get stuck like 2 tables down from him because it's like, what is he going to do this time?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like when he set all the fire alarms off in Indiana. I think he was smoking a doobie, a big one. And he was asleep, and everybody was asleep. Do you remember those alarms went off at like 4:00 in the morning?
Yeah.
Well, he climbed up and lit him up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was lonely. There was nobody to talk to. Everybody had gone to bed. So he just thought he'd wake up the hotel. No, that is super duper star scary stuff.
Yeah. With Busey, he's unpredictable.
And you know what? People like that, and I think sometimes he's pulling people's leg a little bit too. I mean, I know he has some issues, and because they have that car wreck and all that kind of stuff, but. I think once in a while he's really pulling people's leg and saying, well, let's see what I can get away with now. So I think that makes it fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a bunch of boring people, sitting around going, here's my autograph. Thank you. Bye. Next. Little action.
So tell me, Mr. Patton, what conventions are you going to be at in 2012?
Well, so far I'm going to... some I can't tell you because I haven't signed the contract on them quite yet. So I want to be careful about that. But I am going to, I'll tell you the countries and the cities that I'm going to. How's that? But I'm doing all the Day of New Dead. So that, right off the bat, I'm doing that. And then I'm doing Horror on the Boulevard in Kansas City. And I'm doing Las Vegas. I'm going to Brussels. I'm going to Paris. I'm going to New York City. I'm going to Los Angeles. I'm going to Chicago. And I think that's what we got booked right about now, in Indianapolis and Atlanta, and I think I'm going to do FrankenCon this year. And then there is a possibility right now that I'm going to Australia, and which has been a big sort of ongoing thing of because Heather was going to go to Australia, and then all of a sudden, like Robert's going to Australia, and then Ken and Lisa Wilcox are going, and the fans down there just kind of went whack job. They were like, "Why did you skip over, Mark and Kim?"
Mm-hmm.
So they've been talking to us about finding a way to bring us down there. That convention in Sydney is not a huge convention. You know what I mean? It's a very fan intensive convention where, I mean, you spend a lot of time with the people.
Right.
And, and Australia is, again, it's $3,500, $4,000 a ticket.
Wow.
to fly there. So there's a pretty strong possibility that I'm going to go to Australia this year. I don't know if I'm going to go with Robert. I may actually go to another event down there for them, and which will be really fun. I'm really excited to go to Paris, and I'm going back to Germany, and I'm going to always love to go to Europe because it just seems more exotic to have people like battling away in Germany.
Yeah.
But in my and I'll probably do Rock and Shock again this year also.
Well, that's cool.
There are certain conventions that they're in conflict with each other, I guess, and they don't like to book people that do. There are some shows that I would love to do that I've never been asked to do, and so we just slowly work on them and and say when there's room, because I'm like pretty humble about this whole thing. I mean, you don't have to. I know where I stand in the scheme of
Right.
It's like I'm in the horror world. I'm a one-trick wonder, and which is great because I'm proud of the. If I had to do one, I did a pretty good. I chose well. But I understand, that I don't have 10 movies in my belt, and I don't have like a bazillion fans. But anybody who deals with me, they always invite me back because I always bring my A game, and I give them their money's worth, and then I promote the hell out of it too. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like if I'm at your show, I've got 10 people working the boards, letting people all around the world know about your show, and I get more people there, and I try to help build the name of the show, which I think is really important. I have people coming to Atlanta from 5 different countries, and they're coming
Right.
to see me. And it's like, they're literally coming to see me. I'm the reason. They want to come. Obviously they're big fans of Nightmare on Elm Street in particular. But it's through our relationships on Facebook that was the thing that triggered them to say, okay, I'm coming. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what a good promoter wants, the roster of celebrities to do. You want people on the boards talking to each other and being a part of the community, so that when Nadine shows up, and everybody's excited to see Nadine Kirsten from Germany, that that she's welcome there, and she's going to have a blast, and she's going to go back to Germany, and she's going to be the most envied girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she's seen Robert in every country that he's been in Europe. She has the biggest Nightmare on Elm Street collection in all of Europe. But you know what? 10 or 12 people will follow her back to, next year at Rock and Shock.
That's true.
Her friends will be there because she shows them it's possible to get on a plane and go and have fun, meet your friends, not be by yourself. And language is not a problem. We all figure it out one way or another. And, and
we all have fun.
We do have. I think by and large, almost everybody does have fun, except for those who drink too much, go into a blackout, and miss the whole thing. Yes, that's their fun too, right?
Yeah.
So
before we get done with this interview, do you have anyone you would like to say hello to, or anything you want to plug?
Well, I just want to say hello to obviously all the people that we've been talking to. I'm going to say hey to everybody, but the people that we have been talking to. Talking about tonight, Deandra and Bill and Lee and Barnaby and Nadine, those people, and of course you. You guys are like my linchpin on Facebook, and I always can count on you to, like when I was in the middle of writing Jesse, I kept, I'd get like 25 likes. At first, everybody'd say, "Oh, I love this or I love that," and then they just started liking it.
Yeah.
And then, then I was like, are people reading this or are they just hitting the button? And then, when we did the switch over to, coming off my status and going into its own thing, then I found out that hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people read this thing.
Yeah.
And Static Mass has just been, like bombarded with people joining, and that's free. But for this, but you guys were always the one that were like my cheerleaders, saying, yes, I really love this, really stick with it. And, a person needs that, you know what I mean? You just like need those words of encouragement. And you guys have always been really good with me. So those are my hellos. The rest of them, I don't want to say hello to anybody. And I definitely don't want to say hello to Heather because I don't want to. I don't have to. I'll see her when I see her.
Well, Mark, I tell you what, man, it has been a treat talking with you tonight.
It has been such a pleasure.
And we can't wait to see you in Atlanta, and we can't wait. We definitely cannot wait for July. That is going to be such a wonderful time being with everybody and our family and friends.
July is creeping up on us pretty quick. We're already into February.
Yeah, it'll be.
I have so much to do.
Well, get to work because it's got to be fantastic. I know it is going to be fantastic.
Oh yes, it will.
And I love being a part of it. So anyway, okay, so I'll say goodbye, and I'll see you in Atlanta.
That's right. Atlanta, Days of the Dead and Monsters Among Us. Come and see Mark Patton.
That's right.
And the rest of us ghoulish gang. And
if they don't, we're going to send Freddie after him.
And we'll send him right after him. So
that's right.
Thanks again, Mark, for showing up and shooting the breeze with us, man. We really appreciate it.
Okay, love you guys. Talk to you later.
Until next time, kiddies, keep on a slashing.